Incoming mail.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's market color session. During the course of this session, we're going to be looking at commodity currencies, AUD USD, NZD USD, and USD CAD. Shortly after which, we'll now go into indices to see what opportunities lie in these markets for us today. So let us start off this analysis with a look at USD CAD on the H4 time frame. You'd see some markups that we drew from last week that we said either we see a break above confirmation patterns for us to buy or a break below confirmation patterns for us to continue to sell. And looking at USD CAD now, you can see that there has been a break below below this zone. Gave a retest straight into the fair value gap that was right there. Zooming into, you can see it straight into this fair value gap. It sold, came back again, almost retested that exact price point, and then continued to sell. So you can see how beautifully that played out. Okay, but what opportunity now lies in this market for today? I'm going to just take out these levels so that for those of us who were not here during the last session, you also be able to fully understand without getting confused. I know the indicators can be, quite a lot. Now, for those of us who do not have these indicators, and you're wondering how to take advantage of this, just pay attention to the level points we're going to be calling out, and add that to your charts, look for extra confidence if you have to, and let's make some money. So USD CAD H4 time frame, a clean perspective. Now, what am I saying? Price came, it broke through this level point. This is a break of structure, a downtrend break of structure to the downside. When it did that, it traded into this trend indicator, which is the red color, sunshine printed. What does this now tell me? It's telling me that I'm going to be seeing something like this on USD CAD, most likely into this zone. But if it does not trade all the way into this zone, there are other levels that you could trade into on H1 before it continues to sell. What are those levels? Level 1, 1.39013. Level 2, 1.40007, and level 3 is now 1.40130. Now, ideally, this should be zones and not specific price points, but I use this just so that you can be able to easily point it out on your chart for those of us who don't have the indicators. So yes, these are now the 3 POIs that I've marked out. Either you buy back into the zone, hits this resistance level, trade into this fair value gap, start to sell, or even trade a bit above, supports FVG, still the indicator still being there, hit it, and then start to sell from somewhere around here, where you're going to target this zone or target this zone. So bias on USD CAD temporarily is a buy to sell. So on M5, what am I going to now be doing here? I'm now going to mark out yesterday's high and low. Okay, so these are now the level points. Price is already retesting a 5-minute resistance level. If we see a break above, then we know that we're seeing more buys into this or this level. I'm sure we understand what we're looking at. So for USD CAD, like I said earlier, a buy to sell. However, if price hits resistance from where it currently is and starts to sell, we will not be surprised. What we'll now be looking for is confirmation on 1-minute time frame to take that sell. Remember, it is a buy to sell, and these are resistance levels that could either hold or get violated for us to see deeper retracement before the sell begins. Okay, now having that in view, let us now look at AUD USD. Please, at any point, if you have any question, let me know in the chat box. I'll do my best to answer them. Questions relating to the asset classes that we're looking at today. Okay, so on the H4 time frame of AUD USD, let's take this out and start looking at the market with clean, fresh eyes. So you'd see that we drew this level point from one of our previous analysis sessions and price violated this one. It not even, okay, it reacted a little, came back, and then just broke through with so much force. And you'd see that this was drawn, saying we're expecting, some sort of sell, and that's still valid. It was from this resistance level that we're expecting the sell to occur. But now that price has broken above this, do I still think there should be more sales? Yes. I would still prefer to have more sales, because even if I was going to be swinging this, creating a new swing from point A to point B, my most preferred retracement level on the 4-hour time frame will be somewhere around here. That is close to 0.65325, just so that my stop loss is not so wide, right? And I'm not catching the crumbs from the top. So yes, I'll still want to see a deeper retracement. Now, mark them out, because I know that price can just stop here and start to buy if it is a strong moving market trend, or it can trade into 0.65419 or 0.65268. So POI 1 is right here, 0.66184. Point of interest 2, 0.65419 and 65268 is where we're now serving as our higher time frame point of interest. And then I'll be proceeding to lower time frames to mark out more POIs here. And what are those points of interest? I'm marking out on M5. The same thing I mark out every time. Do you see how price came to retest a zone we marked out from last analysis and bought? Okay, so now I am marking out the thing with this is I try to be as flexible as I can when analyzing, because I know that the market either buys or sells or ranges. So it is the confirmation patterns that I now see that make me take a certain trading decision per time. Okay, so these are now the 4 points of interest looking out for on AUD USD. If you come here, find support, and you keep digging higher, I won't be surprised. However, if you see violations, then I'm looking at more sales trading into, all the way into 0.65419, which is a level we marked out from the H1 time frame. And then finally, looking at NZD USD on the H4. So we've seen a break above, price was selling a break above these structure points, currently in or approaching a resistance. Has it fully tested it yet? Currently at a resistance level. we're going to see if price is going to react from this point on. So because of this sunshine, I'm expecting temporal sales, but has this sell fully been maximized, or is it going to continue to buy from where it is? We'll see. So when price trades into this particular zone marked out on the H4, we're going to see reactions, all things being equal, reactions that will push NZD downward to hit the support, and if able to break through, it's going to be targeting the next level, which is 0.56972. Proceed now to mark out the M5 time frame. That is yesterday's high, yesterday's low. So this is now the level that I'm now watching out for on NZUSD. I want to see what it does. Either you sell, violate this. I know that there are more rooms, so there's more room rather for NZUSD to sell into 0.56972, or you're going to come back here to test this again, find support, and continue to buy. So that is my perspective on these three asset classes. If you have any question, let me know before we move into our analysis session on indices and touch a bit on fundamental. Do you have any questions, sir? YouTube questions? All right, so thank you so much for joining us. We'll go on a very, very short break to reconvene in less than a minute to look at indices as well. That being said, have a profitable trading day. Cheers and God bless.
Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the second part of the market color session this morning. Hope we're good, Mr. Sheon Ashafar. Good morning to you this morning. So we're looking at the second part of the market color, US30, NAS100, and also S&P500 briefly, and scouting opportunities in those markets so we can take trades. All right, a very quick one. Let me share my screen. Okay. So starting with US30. With US30, we saw the market sell off yesterday, right? A bit of sell to the downside, but the market sold off a bit, right? And then we have this market still ranging in this zone of box pattern. Either we're going to see a sell to the downside or buy to the upside. But this morning looks as though it's going to continue to buy because price just tapped into this fair value gap on the daily time frame. This fair value gap on the daily time frame, right? And then close above it, and then we see this candle next is pushing to the upside. Right, on the 4-hour time frame, price just tapped into this order block, right? This 4-hour order block, and then we're beginning to see the push again. Let me mark this out so we can understand properly. Tapped into this 4-hour order block, which on the daily time frame is just a fair value gap, right? Now it makes sense for us to see the market from this zone to the upside, to continue its movement to the upside. However, on the 1-hour time frame, let's see, there's something interesting. Okay. Still yet, price is yet to break this. I believe with a break of this or shift of this zone, then we can as well okay, maybe two shift of this zone, then no, let me make it black, then a shift of this zone, we will have a shift in market structure. And from there, we can now start looking out for, trades in the market. All right. So that's pretty much what we have this morning. I'll be looking for buys, but then want to see price shift this zone properly, or price still sells into this zone and then give us a more clear break of structure to the upside for us to, continue buying this market, right? To buy the market. However, let's look at 4-hour time frame. If anything really significant in terms of the sell happens, right? Price only broke the structure. This is like the first for the shift set for the sell setup, right? We have our first shift here, a sweep above, a break to the downside, and then price coming into this zone for it to continue its sell to the downside, right? On the 1-hour time frame, it still makes sense for price to come into this zone for it to continue its sales to the downside. So anyways, we'll still see some level of push in this market today to the upside before we now see the sell-off, right? So that's it on US30. Moving to the next, that's US100 on daily time frame. Also, almost the same analysis we have, right? Price tapped into this fair value gap and then, selling to the downside, sold off yesterday. And then on the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? We have like a shift in price action, in market structure. Yeah, like a shift on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, you can see it, although it didn't sweep this, right? We have like a sweep of structure. That would be a very good box pattern, but we now have like a sweep of its previous high. Assuming we had a shift of previous high and then a sweep of liquidity here, then we can now begin to even say, yes, this market is going to sell, all right? But nonetheless, we'll be looking and be monitoring the market very closely. Let's look at S&P 500. So for S&P 500, there was a clear sweep of liquidity, but then even its own high too wasn't swept, right? This high here wasn't swept. So it's still very dicey. It's still very much dicey, right? That we'll see the market continue to sell off, but then or notwithstanding, we'll be monitoring the market. The only one that is very clear for today is US30, US30 for a buy, and then the rest we'll be monitoring them. Let me put on 1-hour time frame if we can even see anything really interesting here for the buy. Okay, for the buy, seeing something interesting here. US S&P 500 has really cleared its own. There's already a shift. That's happened here. So price could as well start selling, start buying from this fair value gap. Let me look the same for US100. Okay, there's a shift here. Okay, US100 is giving us that kind of setup, right? This shift here, and then there's a sweep here, and then a shift of structure here. So, and then price coming into this fair value gap. Okay, this is what the market has already, or is attempting to do already, right? Price can come into this fair value gap to continue movement, or price come into this other block, right? to continue movement, but then price is testing from this fair value gap. So we'll be watching very closely to see what happens, right? Either from this zone or from this zone, we'll see a takeoff, and then the first take profit that is very, very objective is just this other block first, this other block, right? And if for any reason price breaks above this other block, then we know that our journey to the upside has just resumed properly, and then we can begin to target other highs like this, right? Because surely once price breaks up this zone and then it doesn't hold here, the next journey is to this upside. All right, so that's pretty much what we have this morning. What I have this morning on the market. I'll prefer a sell to buy, a sell to buy, a sell to buy. From which zone? Pips don't lie. From which zone would the sell to buy want to come from? Okay, I didn't get the. Okay, probably it's off. Okay, M15 sell structural leg. M15. Okay, this, Abby. Like from this other block or where? And then you sell into this or sell to the downside. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. And there's a clear sweep and break. Yeah, exactly. All right, from the other block. Okay. It's a valid form of entry. It's a valid form of entry. Okay. So that's a very good one, actually. Yes, I get it. I get it. Okay. So if that's the case, let's look for these guys over here, S&P 500, if we have something like that. Okay. For S&P 500, there's no really clear sweep here of this high. Out of US30, I think US30 still have something like that, like this, very small, but then can see stuff, and then we have a fair value gap for that block. All right, so yes, it's a valid setup. It's a valid setup. And for me, yes, I want to also take this. I also take this from this. I want to also take a sell from this zone. Now, with what I've seen now, I will anticipate a sell from this zone, right? And one other thing I can also do, if for anything price still comes back into this zone, I will take this and then sell it off here, right? Price come into this other block, this one I'm seeing here, I'll also take a buy from here, and then once it gets to this zone, close, enter my sell again to the downside. All right, so that's like what we have going on today, pretty much what we have going on. Hopefully the markets give us that, trade, and to be a very nice one, because currently the structure, technical wise, structure is still very, very much what's it called, bullish, but then technical wise, what we have is that the market is ranging from this top, this zone here, right? It's been struggling all the way. You have a fair value gap block, the other block on the top. So it's ranging very tough. Even for US30, it's kind of tough, bullish, but then it still comes back to sell off, or is beginning to sell off all the bullishness that's done. But I believe strongly, because of the fair value gap, it might continue its push to the upside. But then, like the setup we have on US100, I'm pretty much it's a valid one, very, very valid one on the especially on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll look out for the sell and then take it. Myself, I'll be taking the setup. I think from this zone, right? Exactly. From this zone. And then SL will just be just above here. I'll be just here. Yeah. A bit to cover this. And then hopefully we'll see that drop to the downside. All right. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Okay. You're drawing something? Okay. Okay. No problem. All right. Beautiful. That's good. All right. We're looking at the chat. We'll join the community and then see the message in the community. For those that are not in the community yet, you need to be in the community so that you can get informations like this. Informations like this. Very, very useful. All right. Thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you again by 2:30 in the afternoon. Hopefully, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Hopefully, we'll have gotten more, uh, ideas about the trade, and there are two things involved. Probably price have taken our trade and then we are now in solid profit, or the market just decide to do what it wants to do, probably continue selling without even getting to a point of interest. Whatever it is, by afternoon we are going to just review the entire trade play and then see, hopefully price will have taken us in and then made some money off it. All right. Thank you so much for joining. All right. I'll check, definitely. I'll check the group and then say it. I'm also big on this trade. I'm going to take it. Right. I'm just going to take it on my prop. Let's see how it goes. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I will see you again by 2 p.m. I wish you all a profitable trading day ahead. Cheers and God bless. Thank you.